everyone, welcome back to Decades of Cooking. Today we're going to do some easy roasted chicken thighs, and we're going to begin today with just some good old chicken thighs with the skin on. Do not remove the skin because the skin is actually what makes that roasted chicken the most flavorful. Well, besides the Dekkades pestonade that you're going to use as the easiest way to get it all marinated. Don't forget to subscribe to Decades of Cooking and like Decades of Cooking. So we're going to begin with approximately 2 pounds of chicken thighs. You're going to wash them and dry them. Ensure that they're properly dried. And then we're going to just use a nice baking dish and we're going to line them up nicely, skin side up, before we get them marinated with our special Dekkades pestonade marinade. So for our marinade, we're going to use our Dekkades pestonade, which I spoke about earlier, and this is a product that Dekkades Foods make. You can get it in the supermarket, or you can get it on our website www.dekkadefoods.com. It'll also be available shortly on Amazon, that you can also order it from there. And so we're going to just add half a cup of our Dekkades pestonade, because it can be used as a marinade. Just extremely flavorful, all natural ingredients in there. This has over 13 different herbs and spices, all fresh herbs and spices, so the flavor packs a punch. And this is our red pestonade, and to that we're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. There is salt in the pestonade, but it's not a salty seasoning, which you can also use as a dipping sauce or as a salad dressing. So the salt is just minimal in there. So you want to add 2 extra teaspoons of salt to give the chicken that very special flavor. And also we're going to also add just 2 teaspoons also of honey. I would say for the salt, for every pound of chicken thighs that you're baking, I would add an additional 1 teaspoon of salt, and that's for baking. All right, and once you get used to it, you'll know how much salt to put. You'll be able to vary the quantity of salt, but for that recipe, that's what you need. And then you add 2 teaspoons of honey, and obviously just mix it all around. Make sure all the salt and the honey is mixed in the pestonade, and we're going to use that as our. So we return to our chicken, and we're going to flip our chicken now, skin side down. And if you want to start that way, that's perfectly okay. When you're working with your chicken, just be very careful, because you do not want to get the skins to separate from the top of the chicken, because that is absolutely where the roasted part happens, and the flavors just get really melt in that skin, and it gets sucked through the meat. So you want to flip the chicken and skin side down. And so once we have that, we take about half of our marinade and we ensure that all the bottom part of the chicken is fully coated. Don't be afraid. This is again on all natural ingredients in there. There is no kind of aftertaste. It's just the aroma once this starts roasting in the oven is just amazing. So ensure that everything is properly coated. You can take a nice brush, a cooking brush, and just ensure that all the crevice, every part of that chicken is fully coated with the pestonade. Once you flip the chicken over, you're going to do pretty much the same thing again. Be careful as you move the chicken around that you don't damage the skin from the top. Ensure that it stays well, and you just again do the very same thing. You take the rest of the balance of the marinade pestonade, and you just cover the chicken totally with the pestonade. So just do not use your brush again. That works perfectly. You can get it in all the little crevices. So the interesting part of this pestonade is that my hands are clean. I did not even have to dirty my hands. I had to cut no onions, no garlic. And so if you're pressed for time, you're coming from work in the evening and you just want to create something that's flavorful and healthy too, and quick, you can just use the pestonade over your chicken, your beef, your pork, your fish, whatever it is that you have, and voila, it does it for you. And so once we've added all the marinade over the paste and over the chicken, we cover it. We cover it with the plastic, let it sit. For that, we only allow it to sit for 1 hour, but it's really up to you. You can put it overnight, which of course, if you put it overnight, it's going to infuse the flavors even more. But half an hour, an hour, or you can just add it in immediately and toss it into the oven to roast, because as it roasts, all those flavors, they get really infused into the meat. And so you can just go ahead and pop it in, but for this we're just making it sit for about an hour. So now we're getting ready to put it into the oven. Remove the plastic. We just put our oven temperature to 375 degrees, and then we just pop it right into the oven and forget about it for an hour, and that's it. Just as a side, we're going to do some quick roasted, since we already have our oven on, we're just going to do some roasted yams with some red peppers and some red onions. So as you can see, we've sliced our red onions in a long way, and we've also cut some red bell peppers in a decent size, nicely cut them long. And we're going to use a yam, and this is just what an example of a yam looks like. I mean, most people know what a yam is. It's a healthy dish, very simple. So you can just peel it out, peel off the skin off of it, and you just slice it just as we have it here. Simple, nothing fancy, no fancy way. Just make it in a way that it can just really roast while the chicken is roasting. Once we've cut everything, we add it to another baking dish, and we simply add a little salt, some black pepper, and just a little drizzle of olive oil. We mix all of these ingredients together, and ensure that everything is fully coated with the olive oil, the salt, and the pepper. And then we just really put it right into the oven with the chicken at 375 degrees, and that's it. And as you can see, we have some very soft and yummy, flavorful roasted vegetables. We have the onions, the yams, and the bell peppers, which is just soft and so sweet and flavorful. And we have our roasted chicken. I mean, guys, the aroma from that pesto in that chicken and the skin, oh my goodness, you have to try this. This is one of the simplest recipes. Come from work on a weekend, at whatever time you have friends over, do that for them. You're gonna feel like a major chef, so that's what we do here at Decades of Cooking. Enjoy this very simple and easy, told it was easy, recipe of roasted chicken with roasted veggies. Bye guys, don't forget to subscribe and like Decades of Cooking. See you next time. Bye.